My, oh my, oh my, what do we have here today? The all-new Milwaukee 7 1/4 rear handle circular saw. Not only that, this is the kit, the model number for this 283021HD. We're going to cut through all kind of stuff with this. I'm going to show you all the stuff I do like and the one thing that I don't. Pretty excited. Stick around. I have probably gotten more questions about when Milwaukee was going to come out with a rear handle saw than any other tool ever in the history of this channel. We were one of the first to show you this tool at the MPS event in the 2019 year, but now we have it in our hands and we're going to use and abuse it. I'm going to talk about the specs. We're going to show you cut not only wood but metal. But before we do that, let's talk about what you get in the kit. You get the Monster 12AH battery, you get the rapid charger, you get the dust port here, you got a strap that goes on this oh so nice Milwaukee M18 FUEL bag. This thing is really big. I've had these bags. They're really nice, more than enough room to store your tools. You will get everything. You got a couple pockets on each side. You'll get all of this in the kit. You'll also get a 24 teeth framing blade. We're going to take that off. We're using the Diablo metal wood blade just because I want to push this thing to the edge. Now let's take this thing outside and start cutting. I want you to hear electronic brake first. Oh, that damn thing stops pretty quickly. That's pretty impressive. You do got the blade wrench right here. You got the storage area. I like that. I'm happy they put that on the bottom right here. We'll talk about all the specs here in a bit, but I just want to start cutting things. We're just going to start out with your basic 2x6 piece of pine. We're going to slice right through it, see what it does. Now I really like the dust chute on this. Blows that dust out the side. No issue with it blowing back at you. Super smooth cut. Definitely more than enough power. They claim that this is more powerful than a 15 amp. But we're going to add a couple framing nails into a piece of pine here. Another 2x6. We got 3 framing nails. Let's try to cut through those with the saw and the blade now. Now I slowed down right before I hit those nails, but we're going to add a bunch more and we're not going to slow down this time. We're just going to go straight through. Now what I will tell you is that on a lot of the other saws that we tried this on, a lot of the sparks were hitting me in the shirt and on the legs. I really wasn't having an issue with that, so the dust chute itself is actually really nice. It does a good job. Now I believe there's quite a few nails in here. We're going to step this bad boy up. We're going to pull that trigger and we're just going to go for it. Now the no load RPM on this thing, 5,800. And as you can see, it cut through oh so smooth. Now anytime that you cut through that many framing nails, you know, the blade plays a role, but at the end of the day, you still need to have the power behind the saw. And what's impressive is this saw definitely has that power. Now, I will be honest with you, it is not the most powerful saw that I've ever used or that I felt, but we're going to keep on cutting some metal. Let's check this out. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and we're still using the 12.0 battery. Here we go. So that literally gets rid of the need for an abrasive saw. That thing just goes right through that metal. We're going to step it up. We're going to add a bar on here. But man, I'll tell you what, it cuts, man. And there's no vibration on this saw. That is another thing I will tell you. There is no vibration that I'm feeling. Check this out. Now, if you watch the tool review zone behind the scenes on how I shoot my tool reviews, we use this saw as a demonstration, and we were doing the same cuts. Look at that. That is really, really impressive to be able to cut through metal. All right, let's go over some specs and some other information, then we'll get back to the cutting. Again, no load, RPM 5800 degree, cut up to 53 degrees. No plastic at all on the guarding, all metal. Really like the glide that this guard has, goes right over top of the wood. Did not get hung up at all on any cuts that I've made. Now it is a little bit longer. You're looking at 18.9 inches long. You do get the edge guide right here. You only got the one in the front, nothing in the back. Would have liked to have seen two of them on this saw. Real simple to adjust your depth. As far as it goes with the cut depth, 90 degrees you're looking at 2.5 inches. At 45 degrees you're looking at 1 7/8 of an inch. Not only that, it's a really pretty saw. Now, as far as it goes with weight, you're looking at 13.5 pounds. Not the heaviest saw out there, but not the lightest either. You got your sight lines over here, all metal as well. And I will tell you, even with the larger saw and the larger battery, it got a really nice line of sight on this. And as far as it goes with the dust being pushed off, it does an excellent job. Right here is your blade lock. I do wish it was a little bit bigger. It's kind of a pain. That is just a smaller negative, not that big of a deal for me. You got this Raptor Hanger right here. Boy, I'll tell you what, they did a really good job on that. There's no play at all. You put it up, you hang it, and it's not going anywhere. They did a really good job on that. You can hook a vacuum up to this. Again, I showed you in the beginning of the video, you do get the dust port. You just take that screw out on the side and add that. Here is one of my biggest negatives of this saw, the bevel adjustment. There's a couple issues I have with this. Number one, the adjustment lever. If you turn that too fast, it actually spins and it can come off. You really have to spin it pretty quick for that to do that. But the issue is, even if you turn it a little bit too much to loosen, there's no stop on it and it just goes out of whack, where you have to find the right position again to get that to where you want it. Now, even though I'm being a little dramatic right here, check this out. You spin it and it will literally come off if you just go too much. I'm just not a fan of that. I wish it would have just been designed differently. I also wish that was the only issue. It is not. The one thing that I'm actually bummed out about, they did not add the positive stops to the bevel. You can go from 0 to 53 degrees, but again, no positive stops on the bevel. Now, maybe the positive stops, they're not a big deal to you. It just really left me scratching my head as to why they did not put this on the saw, because they did everything else so right. Now, I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. Is the positive stop a big issue for you? If not, that's fine. And if it is, that's fine. I'm just curious to know what you think. Now, even though there are no positive stops, I will tell you that it does actually adjust very smoothly. There's no wiggle in this. There's no play in it. It's really solid. Once you lock it down, it stays put and it doesn't go anywhere on you. So they did really good on that. I just really think they need to redesign this portion of the saw. All right, moving on. Even though this does come with the 12.0 battery, I want to know what this will do with maybe a smaller battery such as the 3.0 high output. What's nice about this saw is you can use any M18 battery in it to run it. So we're going to pop that in. We're going to cut through some treated 4x4. We're just going to make some slices and dices and see how it holds up. See if it has enough power to run it. You can definitely feel it's not as powerful as the 12.0, but still cutting through. Now, even though you're probably not going to run this off of a smaller battery like this, I just wanted to test it out, and it's good that if you do run out of power or juice on the 12.0, you can pop one of these smaller batteries in, get a couple more cuts in while the other one's charging. And with the supercharger coming out, the larger 12.0s and the 9.0s should be charging a lot faster within an hour. But you can see we threw a 12.0 back in there, and it's slicing and dicing real easy, real smooth, like no issue at all. Now that was a 45-degree cut, and I'll tell you, with that saw being on the left-hand side for the right-handed, it's great. Really smooth, really quick, really easy, nice to make cuts. I'm really happy with this. Again, just that bevel, it just irks me, but other than that, everything on this saw, it's really powerful. Really cutting through everything I'm throwing in front of it, not noticing any power loss, and yeah, all in all, really impressed so far. Alright, just did a plunge down through some pine, and again, super simple, really not a lot of play at all. Now with that battery, again, you know, a lot of people ask me, will rain hurt it? You know, if you leave this out in a thunderstorm for 3 days, yeah, you could damage your saw, right? That's any tool. But at the same time, I have left these types of saws out in the rain accidentally for maybe an hour, and I haven't had any issues. I can't speak for this one, but I would suggest that you don't do that, number one. Number two, if you did, I don't think it's going to hurt it. Those batteries pretty much protect that. You don't have to worry about getting into your electronics. I think you're good to go. And check out that line of sight. Really, really nice on this saw. Even though it's a little bit bigger, sort of reminds me of the Milwaukee chainsaw a little bit, but really nice line of sight while you're cutting, so I'm happy with that. The power is definitely there. Milwaukee does not hide it. They want rid of the cord. They want everything to be battery powered, and again, with the way they're doing things, the way they're putting things out, they are able to do that. They are getting the job done when it comes to this battery technology. Everything on here is pretty easy to adjust. It's extremely comfortable in the hands. Got a really nice grip. I like the ergonomics. I even like that handle up on top. Even though my wrist twists a little bit too much, I still think they did really good on that. I think it's built like a tank. I think it'll definitely take a whooping on the construction site. This is way more than any DIYer would need. If you have one, that's great, but this is built for pro use. Again, my largest complaint is why no positive stops, and why is that adjustment lever so loose? What I would like to see is it only come up halfway or a certain amount and then stop automatically, so that nut doesn't spin, and then you lose your marking and then have to readjust that lever again to get it where you want it. Now, once this is available, I will put the link in the description below. I definitely want to know what you think. What do you think of the new Milwaukee M18 rear handle circular saw? I really like it. I think it could have been perfect, but I don't think it's quite there yet just because of that bevel. Everything else, very well done, very heavy duty, very well built, good stuff. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to see more videos. Come say hi to us on the Instagram page. And as always, we'll be back with more videos soon.